All right, Jen, thank you very much. And let's keep our discussion going right now because we welcome back Suzanne Rust, lifestyle editor of Family Circle magazine. So good to have you with us again.
It's great to be back. Always great to be here.
You know, this is an interesting subject, too. And we're both parents, so we kind of understand what this is all about.
We do. You know, I mean, you have to discipline your kids, but there's so much controversy out there about the best way to do it. So I think everyone's reaching for straws, like grabbing for straws. What can we do? How can we keep them in line and healthy?
And you have talked about how we don't want to raise a generation of unaccountable adults.
No.
And the latest research on spanking, timeout, and all the rest of that, what does it show?
I think it shows kind of things across the board. I mean, people don't really know what to do with their kids, and there are different ways of doing it. Spanking, yelling at the kids, it's not the best way to go. You know, you've got to come up with other solutions where you really get to the root of the problem and kind of go backwards and get them when they're younger, and you can kind of train them so you don't have those issues, so it doesn't get to that point.
Well, there are a lot of good ideas that you have. You talk about, you know, for example, setting up some rules. Let's start with that. How do you do that?
Yeah, I really think with either you're talking to like a 3-year-old or a 15-year-old, if they know what's expected of them, they're less likely to veer off course.
Right.
And you have to bring it back because they're going to forget. You know, it's like when you're 3-year-old, I expect you to sit at the table, I expect you to do this. You're a 15-year-old, I expect you to be home for curfew.
You just spell it out for them.
Spell it out, and then you say, you know, you really went off course that time.
Right.
It's not what we discussed. You know, you have something to go by.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then after you've laid out the rules, they also have to understand there are consequences involved here, right?
They really have to. They have to understand that you can't get along in life without some kind of consequence. And parents that don't discipline their kids correctly go off. It's not just send you to your room. It's like, why am I sending to your room? Why am I doing this to you? I'm taking away your electronics because you're not paying attention. You're staying up too late. Let me take away for a little bit, see how how you react, and then maybe you be more responsible with your actions.
They have to have the understanding. And what we're really
connect, you know?
Right. And what we're talking about, Suzanne, is preparing our children for the real world, for the adult world out there.
Absolutely. You don't want a kid who's unaccountable at work, who gets away with everything, you know, but you also want to make sure you're boosting up their spirits, too. Punishing a child, you know, you can take a lot out of them, but you have to know how to kind of nurture them as human beings also, and, you know, just give them positive reinforcements, too. Very
good. Now, we also have some reaction here today on Facebook. We asked people, what's the best way to discipline a child? Let me read some of these to you. Roland says, open-ended questions, sit down and discuss what they did was wrong, teach them right from wrong by talking to them, as we just said, helping them understand why it was wrong. Tiffany writes to us and says, being grounded and take away electronics or making them do something like extra chores. And Tina also chimes in here, says every child is different. Some you can talk to, some you can put in a timeout, some need privileges taken away, and some need a spanking. You talk about how important it is to have family meetings, too.
I think so, too. It sounds very old-fashioned, you know, but it's nice to sit down when you're all calm and cool and collected and have a discussion about what's going on, the dynamics in the house, what you're expecting from each other as parents and as kids, and just really talk it out, but not in the heat of the moment.
Right.
And I think we have to be careful as parents not to always bark at them. You know, pick your battles. Is it worth it blowing up over that? Because then they don't know what you're really, you know, really mad at them for. You know, if you're always mad. So
and we both agree. Leave them with a positive feeling about themselves and about what they're supposed to be doing. I like that.
Discipline but boost at the same time.
Suzanne Rust, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Okay, great weekend.
Here. Thank you.
All right, we're coming back in just a minute for you. We're going to be talking about how New York needs some volunteers, and now it's easier than ever to turn your passion into a way to give back. And here's the bonus. It could help you as much as it helps others. We'll talk about it coming up next. And join us on Monday as we talk about digital health care, how today's technology is helping change the way doctors treat patients. For example, our virtual house calls, the wave of the future. We'll talk about it. It's a very exciting subject Monday, right here on the news at 6. And we are coming right back.